Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining Ingrid and I. My name is Soila. I'm the founding editor of the divorcemagazine.co.uk. We have the YouTube channel, which might be where you're watching this video. Maybe you're watching it on the website. Either way, don't forget to subscribe so you can, be kept in touch with other videos that are coming on. I'm also a parenting therapist. So if you know somebody who's having, or if you are having issues with your children, whatever concerns and issues you might be facing with your children, and you just need a chat, get in touch with me at soila@thedivorcemagazine.co.uk. So today we have Ingrid. Ingrid, we haven't had anyone who's doing what you're doing on the divorcemagazine.co.uk. So I'll let you introduce yourself and tell us what it is that you do.
Hi, Soila. Lovely to see you here on YouTube. My name is Ingrid Jansen, and I'm a professional organizer and declutterer. And I basically help people decide what they're going to keep and what needs to go from their house. I run a business called Organise Your House, and people can find me on the web, organiseyourhouse.co.uk, or drop me an email via ingrid@organise-your-house.co.uk. And I've been a professional organizer for 6 years now, and I've done over 500 jobs where I help my clients to find what's really important and what needs to stay, and also find out what shouldn't stay in their house.
Which is also very important, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when we first met Ingrid, it was like about 4 or 5 years ago, and you had just started. And it's brilliant to not only hear how well you're doing, but also to see that you've got your own Organize Your House, logo and T-shirt. That's brilliant. I like that very much. So one of the first questions I have for you, Ingrid, is divorce sometimes, not all the time, entails selling the family home and the parents getting their own respective properties from there on. What would be, and sometimes the sale has to happen really quickly. So what advice would you give a family, a couple that are looking to sell their property as soon as possible?
I think there are several things that are really, really important. Of course, it really depends on the separation, how it's going. And of course, if you can keep it as amicable as possible, because even if there are pets involved or kids involved, or even if there aren't, it's very, very important that because you need to make a lot of decisions together. And especially if you need to sell your house, it's very important to have that house ready. And it's not only about the curb appeal from the outside of the house, but of course also the inside of the house. And you're going to be showing people around, they're going to ask you why you're selling, and they're going to open those cupboards and have a look around because they want to imagine their own stuff in the new house. So if every cupboard is absolutely packed to the rafters with things and the loft is full and you have to jump over shoes as soon as you come in through the hallway, then I think it's really important that you do a big tidy and you really do a big organization of the house. And I think the main tip is for me, don't underestimate how long this takes. It really takes to get those cupboards empty. And maybe you can temporarily use some storage at another location. Maybe both of you, maybe one of you has already found a new flat and you can take some of the items already out of the house. Maybe you both can agree on some things to actually leave the property, and you can, do a charity run, bring some stuff to the tip. Give a bit. And that will help, I think, a lot when you want to sell your house quickly.
Okay, so it's very much about, we lost you there for a split second, but it's very much about, clearing the floor space, clearing the cupboards, and making sure that the property is void of any clutter.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Definitely a house, should, look warm and welcoming. And that might be a bit hard sometimes, especially if there's been a separation between the partners. It can be hard to put that love in the property, but you really see if people work together and get the property ready for sale, you really see an increase in the sale price. I helped a lady last year who wanted to sell her house, and in this case she wasn't divorcing, but she just wanted to move to a larger property of a growing family. But even decluttering the cupboards and decluttering the house, I think increased their sale price with about £10,000.
Brilliant.
So it's incredible how much clutter can cost you.
Yeah. And when you have, so now you're doing the decluttering. I don't know if you work, well, people are decluttering. Do you help them make decisions on, what to keep? Because that's such a tricky part. Like I was saying before we started the interview, when I went through my divorce and had to downsize my home, um, actually deciding what to keep and what to put away was, or give away was quite tough.
Yes,
So, yeah.
it's true, and that's why a lot of people call me in. Through circumstances, they have gotten themselves in a lot of stuff in their house, and it can be through an illness, it can be through a moving house, it can be deciding that they want to work from home. There can be loads of different reasons why people have a lot of clutter, and they look around one day and they think, "Wow, I just don't know where to start anymore."
Mm,
And that's a lot of times the point when they pick up the phone or they start to look on the internet and I need help organizing my house, or can somebody help me declutter my house? And then my name pops up. And so I come into people's lives when there's a lot of transition going on.
mm,
And that's why I love my job. But it's very important that I help my clients think through what it is they want to keep,
yeah.
what's important. So I will not, pull up in front of your house with a skip and start throwing ruthlessly things out, because that's not how it works at all. Together with my clients, we have a wander around the house, have a look where the most crucial pain points at the moment, where the areas that need to work the most currently, and also where can we create space to put the stuff we actually want to keep. Um, Very rarely I advise my clients to buy something, because a lot of my clients ask me, "What do I need to buy to get more
Ah,
organized?"
I see.
And my answer nearly always is, "Please don't buy anything. Let's first declutter what you have. Let's give a lot of stuff to the charity shop. Let's see if maybe something's going to be returned to a friend. Maybe we can even one or two items sell it on eBay or recycle it." Um, and let's keep the stuff that's important. And once we know the stuff that's important, let's then decide where we're going to keep it. And if you need anything, I will give you advice on what to buy and where to buy it. But an old shoebox goes a long
Long way.
way
I know.
to
Yeah,
nothing.
it does. I find it quite hard to throw shoe boxes, I have to say.
I know,
I'm
because
like, I know I can use this for something. I know I can.
yeah, they're very, very helpful, and they're really easy then to also organize drawers. Um, and it doesn't have to always be perfect from the start.
Mm,
Decluttering is a work in progress. And if you've had a lot of clutter over a lot of years, you won't change that in one 4-hour session with
mm,
me. That you need to put some time and effort and energy into it. But it's amazing how much you can do in a short space of time. And when I work with my clients, they're always amazed. They think, "Oh my gosh, Ingrid, working with you has been such a great experience, and it's so much easier when somebody who is not involved in my life to
mm.
have here to help me make those decisions."
How
And
do you help them decide what to keep? Is there like a criteria of the keepers and the losers and the
yes, you can see it straight away. It's very, very funny. It's almost with clothes. What can really be helpful if you do a wardrobe is to instead of saying, "Okay, don't you wear anymore?" to say to the client, "Can you pick out 10 items you wear all the time?" And that can be a basic, and they can tell you straight away which items they wear all the time and which clothes they love.
Mm,
And of course, if they want to keep that lovely top that I bought for a wedding that they still enjoy very, very much, and the thought of the wedding or the thought of that special party, um, still, if that gives a good memory, if to talk in Marie Kondo's terms, if it sparks joy,
mhm.
it can stay. But if it has a negative association with a negative event, then it's better to move on and let somebody else enjoy
Mm,
it. A
yeah.
lot of items have a second life in them. And by giving it away to somebody else who will enjoy it,
Yeah.
that's a great way of releasing that negative energy out of your life, of making somebody else happy with it.
I had a white dress that I really, it was a white linen dress that I absolutely loved for years, and I used to wear it quite frequently, and then one day I just kind of stopped wearing it. But
Yeah.
Ingrid, I could never ever ever give it away or lose it, or it was always there. Every time I moved house, it would go back into the closet. Until one time I looked at it and I thought, okay, yeah, you know what? It's been about 4 years I haven't put it on. It has to go. So
Yeah.
it went to charity. And I remember thinking, I'm really going to miss it. And I thought, no, actually, you won't. And I haven't, thought much about it since then. I think it's the sentimental value that you're talking about also.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's okay to keep sentimental items in your house. You don't have to get rid of your whole past.
Yeah.
That's not the point. But I think it's important that you keep stuff that makes you happy and that makes you smile and makes you get a warm feeling inside. Think, oh, that was great. I love looking at that photo, or I love looking at that ornament because it makes me happy. And your clutter and my clutter are completely different.
Yeah.
And what you love, I might think, oh wow, that's clutter. That I would take that out of my house. But if it's important to you, who am I to tell you it needs to leave your house? And I think that's why it's important to keep an open mind with every client that I work with, because they might, want to keep some stuff that I would consider clutter, but it's their house and they should live in it. So
it's really interesting because I'm looking at the room behind you, and it looks absolutely lovely and definitely clutter free. That's But do you also help people rearrange their furniture, and you say, well, this sofa maybe might need to move there, or the armchair needs to go there? Do you give them that kind of advice, or paint the walls a different color, or all of that, or not?
It's interesting because although I don't see myself as a home stager or an essential is in the wrong place. So, and of course, I try not to live like massive heavy fridges or freezers, but I always end up arranging furniture around the room, because sometimes even opening up the space by rearranging or putting a cupboard somewhere else can really open up the room and make it more flexible. Sometimes you just need to move an item to another room in the house. And that really helps as well. And if I do come into a house where I know they want to sell their property and I see a bright red wall, I might say, listen, for the purpose of selling your house, you might need to have to paint the bright red wall because it's too intense. And please, have the bright red wall again in your new house. But for selling purposes, you might want to tone it down a little bit. And the same goes for purple and very hard blues. And you all want to have it a bit more neutral so people can imagine their own furniture in a house.
Okay. My final question, Ingrid, clearing your children's rooms.
Yes. When it's people ask me that question a lot. When the child is still a baby or a toddler and they can't make the decisions yet themselves, you as a parent need to be very hands-on in decluttering. They've outgrown the toys. They can leave. Maybe there's a lovely playgroup in your area that needs toys, or maybe your local nursery or your school wants to have some toys. And of course, they need to be in good condition. But you want your children to play with age-appropriate toys. And if there is a soft toy they absolutely love, although it's not age appropriate, if they love it, it has to stay. You don't want to upset your children, obviously. But you want to move on, and kids get far too much anyway these days.
Yes.
So it's all right to streamline the toys, and do a call after their birthday and after Christmas, and sit down together and say, you've had so many lovely new presents. What are the toys you don't play with anymore? But when they're little, you decide to make the parents. Once they get a bit older, 5, 6, 7 years old, you really should involve them in the process and get them to say, what are you not playing with anymore? What can we give to another child who doesn't have any toys at all? Or what can we make someone else happy with? And if they kind of go more into the teenager stage, try to get them involved themselves. But give them a hand here and there. Just don't only say you need to tidy up your room, because they don't understand what that means.
Yeah.
Just by saying, maybe we can have a look at some of the ornaments you have, or maybe you have got 5 of those. Can you not just keep 2? And that way you can kind of downsize the belongings a little bit. And they will understand that they're going to have a transition as well, going into secondary school. That's some of the younger stuff that they had when they were little. But definitely don't get a black bin bag out and start clearing it all by yourself, because they will get upset.
As tempting as it is sometimes, yeah. Very tempting to do that sometimes, because like I told you before the interview, going into my daughter's room and on her chest of drawers, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, okay, we really need to clear this. And I've tried to do it with her, and she'll be like, no, but Mama, I remember this from here, I remember this from there. And in the end, we have a bag, we've got like maybe 2-3 small things in there, and I'm like, okay, let's tidy up instead. So I wouldn't get rid of them without telling her, as tempted as it is sometimes just to think, I bet she won't notice this is missing or that is missing.
Yeah, no, it's true. And I mean, what will help really well as well, what I create with nearly all of my clients is a memory box.
That's a good one.
Instead of having things float around the house, you create a memory box, and it can be of, when they were really... there will be several stages in their lives, and you can create a memory box when they were born, and their first outfit, and maybe their little first shoes, and then of course you create a memory box for maybe primary school with some nice artwork, etc. And maybe keep a couple of school books that they really enjoyed, and then you go into when they're the teenagers, and maybe they like a T-shirt of a concert they've been to. So I'm not saying keeping massive boxes in your loft, but pick the items that they really, really appreciate. And that's really helpful as well. And the same goes for when you've had a fantastic party, or when you've had a fantastic holiday, or when you've had a really special person in your life, that creating a memory box is really, really good as well. For instance, I helped a client a couple of years ago now, and her dad had passed away. And she said, I've got stuff of him everywhere, and I don't know, and I don't want to throw anything away of him. And I said to her, let's get you organized. Let's put all the stuff from your dad we find. We're going to put it in one box. And once we've done the rooms that you want to do, we're going to go back to that box and then look at what we found everywhere. And she was absolutely amazed. And she said, wow, I didn't know I had this much stuff of him. I didn't think I had that much, because it was here, there, and everywhere. But actually, I do have a lot of him. And now I realize that I really only want to keep a handful of items, because they're important. And I love the photo of him with the Queen, and I love his award, and I love the photo of me with him when I was young. And those are the items that were kept, and all the other stuff that wasn't important at all got given away to somebody else who was going to enjoy it.
Do you travel to see people, or are you mainly dealing with people in London?
Yes, I work in Southeast London, Central London, East London. I've got quite a large area. I include 1 hour of travel, but I do go, sometimes a little bit out, but I have to charge a bit of travel cost. I always do a consultation first with my new clients. So if people ring me and they are thinking about decluttering, I go and see them in their house first, and they get a chance to meet me in person and see if they like to work with me. And it gives me an opportunity to see the house and give advice on where I think we should start, ask the client where they want to start, and hopefully they overlap. And then we schedule a date in the diary when we do our first job together. And with some clients, I work a couple of times, back on top of things, and they feel really good. With some clients, that go through a divorce, they need to get the house ready, get everything sold. They need to get division of the items in the house. Then it's a quick turnaround. And with other clients who are, for example, a bit more chronically disorganized, or who have a lot more clutter in their house, gotten together over many, many years, I work over a longer period of time. But it all depends on the client. Some people really want to work with me more often, while others want me to come once a month on a regular basis and see the progress slowly but surely.
Oh, thank you so much, Ingrid. And as Ingrid said, you can, if you want to contact her, she's at Organise. Ingrid at Organise.
Ingrid at organise-your-house.co.uk, or on my website, organiseyourhouse.co.uk. And please feel to drop me an email. If you just have a question, don't hesitate. I'm here to help.
Thank you so much, Ingrid.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Orla, for having me.
Thanks for listening to the interview. Don't forget to subscribe, and we will speak later. I'll let you know what else is coming up. But if you subscribe, you won't miss the next video. Thanks. Bye.